Hello, my name is Jennifer Coit, and this is my chapter video summaries of chapters 8 through 15. Chapter 8 explores ecological perspectives and how they help explain children's social development. Ecology is defined as a study of organisms in relation to their environment, emphasizing the interaction between individuals and their physical surroundings. The chapter highlights James J. Gibson as foundational to ecological psychology, particularly his concepts of direct perception and affordance, or the opportunities for action that the environment provides. Gibson argues that children learn by directly engaging with and observing their surroundings, which I find compelling because children naturally absorb social norms, morality, and behavior through everyday interaction. The chapter also discusses Urie Bronfenbrenner and Glenn Elder, who expanded ecological theory by explaining how development is shaped by layered systems and life experiences over time. Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory emphasizes the influence of family, school, peers, and culture, while Elder's life course theory highlights the roles of social relationships in historical contexts. I see these theories reflected in my own life when I compare my upbringing in New York City during the 1990s, where crime and safety concerns led to strict parenting, in comparison to my wife's upper class upbringing in Ohio, which involved very different environmental stressors. These contrast experiences reinforce my belief that parenting styles, socioeconomic status, religion, and cultural norms significantly shape a child's development and value formation. Chapter 9 examines how the physical environment influences child development. Children are especially susceptible to environmental influences in early childhood. Environmental factors are complex because they shift depending on other changing variables, which is why environment is widely studied in developmental research. Key environmental factors include noise, toxins, crowding, chaos, housing, and neighborhood conditions. Noise is defined as unwanted sound measured in decibels. The impact of noise depends on its type of intensity. Children are commonly exposed to traffic, music, and social sounds. Noise can sometimes have neutral or even positive effects. For example, growing up in New York City, I became accustomed to the constant traffic and train sounds, which function as white noise for me. When I travel with my family to New York City, however, they often find the noise distracting and disruptive to sleep. This highlights how environmental adaptations differ by experience. Crowding is another influential factor. It refers to the number of people occupying a given space. Crowding is often associated with low-income urban areas where higher crime and drug exposure rates may exist. These environmental stressors can influence social and emotional development. Crowding usually leads to less resources to go around. We see this in large city environments where kids are lacking resources in public school because of the funding or overcrowding. Chapter 11 and 12 address child development in the context of trauma, climate change, war, and disaster. War and natural disasters disrupt foundational systems including housing, education, healthcare, and safety. These disruptions can have physical, mental, and emotional consequences for children. The discussion of climate change and natural disasters are particularly impactful. Disasters affect access to basic necessities such as shelter, food, and clean water. Research suggests children account for a significant percentage of disaster-related fatalities and may develop underlying conditions such as PTSD. Climate-related events also damage schools, hospitals, directly interrupting developmental support. Parental well-being is equally important. A caregiver's mental and emotional health directly affects a child's development. Teachers also serve as significant caregivers, particularly once children enter school. When disasters destroy schools or disrupt education, Children temporarily lose key socialization opportunities, sometimes with lasting effects. This topic felt personal to me. My wife has long struggled with anxiety related to thunderstorms. Over time, particularly after having children, her fear has intensified. She recalls a childhood experience on Lake Erie when a sudden storm arose while her family was sailing. The high waves and thunder left a lasting emotional imprint. Although storms today may be minor, she perceives them as immediate threats. This illustrates how early environmental trauma can shape long-term perception and emotional responses. Chapter 12 also addresses the COVID-19 pandemic. My entire family experienced this aftermath. While remote work improved work-life balance for some, the pandemic significantly disrupted social development. Social isolation increased screen time, and fear of infection limited in-person interaction. My daughter was born 1 year before the outbreak. During critical early years, she was restricted from parks, playgrounds, and family visits. When she'd entered kindergarten, she struggled socially and experienced anxiety connecting with peers. COVID-19 also disproportionately affected lower-income families through job loss. Additionally, individuals of Asian descent experienced discrimination due to the virus's origin. Chapter 13 explores socio-cultural differences in child development, focusing on pro-social behavior, aggressive behavior, and social withdrawal. Pro-social behavior refers to voluntary actions intended to help others, such as sharing, helping, or comforting. These behaviors develop early as empathy emerges and are influenced by parents, teachers, peers, and culture. Aggressive behavior is intentional behavior meant to harm or intimidate others. While aggression may be learned, I was surprised to learn that most cultures discourage aggressive behavior. Bullying is one example. Social withdrawal occurs when a child consistently avoids social interaction and prefers solitude or limited peer engagement. Shyness is a form of social withdrawal, and research suggests that chronically withdrawn children may experience social difficulties. Chapters 14 and 15 examine immigration and its effects on child development. In today's climate, immigration enforcement policies can create instability for families. Like war or disaster, forced displacement disrupts children's sense of security. Children who migrate legally also face adjustment challenges. Language barriers, cultural differences, and unfamiliar norms may hinder social integration. Chapter 15 extends this discussion to immigrants and native children in Europe. Research findings vary, but immigrant children often face higher risk of psychological adjustment difficulties compared to native-born peers. Census data shows significant variations across countries. Across both chapters, migration presents social, emotional, and developmental challenges. Adjustment depends heavily on context, support systems, and societal attitudes. Thank you.